Hello, peeps, lovely peeps. Here is Catherine Bihlmeier with a lovely philosopher today. Maxime Santini is today with me in the podcast, and we're going to have a conversation about destroying and destruction. Maxime Santini is from Croatia, and he is a philosopher and has written already several books about this philosophy, and then also is in the systemic constellation therapist, or is a therapist in constellation. Great. And we have a topic today about the destroying and destruction. Hi, Maxime. Thank you for being here with me. And lovely to meet you. And I guess you have a warmer weather than we have. We are still heating and still having cold. So it's not so fun here. So you want to start? What is your perspective on destroying and destruction in humankind, in the humanness?
Yeah. Hello, I'm very, very glad to see you finally. And the day is very nice, bright, sun is shining. So I think it's very good starting point for our conversation. Well, subject may seem dark and not promising, but I think that distraction or potential for distraction is just part of our being, maybe half of our being. And the problem is not in the distraction for itself, but in our taming the distraction, in our attitude to distraction. I remember old Freud's statement that Eros and Thanatos are equal powers, universal powers, powers of the universe. We also remember from Hindu philosophy, Hindu thought, that there is Brahma, creator, God, but also there is Shiva, God, destroyer. Mm-hmm. And finally, there is Vishnu, who's making balance, and thanks to Vishnu, world exists at all. So I think that we can start from similar attitude in psychology also, in anthropology, not only in cosmology. That's my point of view. Of course, we are always obsessed with negative manifestations of distraction, but we don't have to forget about this positive moment. Drive for action, energy, source of energy. How could we change or make or construct anything without energy? And energy is both from Eros and from Thanatos.
Great. Thanks for your perspective. My perspective is that for me, destroying is all destruction, and destroying energy is always positive. There is not really negative.
Great.
Because for me, it's like just a point of view. And as you say, the energy is energy and has no definition actually. But when we look also in the nature, we can see that, even a fire brings just a cleansing energy when there is a fire in the woods, and the nature just arises again. So for me, destroying or destruction energy is always something where something new is going to arise out of that. And even with our body, with our health, also in the relationships, if we destroy something, there is always going to show up something new out of that. new awareness and new possibilities of new awareness and more potential and more possibilities out of that. So that's how I perceive it and how I go with that and how I perceive it also for my life. Even sometimes when my point of view comes in, that we have that I'm like destroying my business or destroying something in my life. There's always the question, what is right about that?
Mm-hmm. And what's going next?
Yeah, so what is going to show up? What is going to rise next? And where am I heading? So these are always my questions. For am I destroying here this relationship? Or, I mean, it's just destroying energy or the destruction energy it's just a point of view. Actually, it's just an energy. Like for me, it's just like the weather is sunny and then it's cloudy. So that's like now it's green, the earth is green, and then it's into fire or desert. But everything is a beginning of something new in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I also see is that, with our points of view, we are very often also destroying our body with health, and the body is then just showing up in signals and symptoms.
Yes.
Yes, Maxime?
Yeah, I think the problem is when we experience distraction, potential of distraction in ourselves, but it remains subliminal, unconscious. It's very, very dangerous because there starts so-called process of somatization and arouse symptoms which compel us to make situation be clear, to identify sources of our aggressions, reasons for our drive to be destructive. We must do it because our body is reacting and our body is showing us all mistakes we made.
Yeah. And is it really a mistake, or is it just like the next step to more consciousness?
Maybe we may call it a process of our education. And,
education, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, it's always a process of developing more consciousness on this earth, getting more conscious. If the body is showing up in a symptom, as you say, it's easier to then go for the source and clean that out or change that point of view, which is sometimes showing up as a signal in our body. Or what I also have is, in this time where when we look at what is going on earth with the vaccination, what is happening in the bodies, and even that we all created that that form and that possibilities, that there are people who are just like, telling us what we need to do. That's also our creation. And that we have that it shows up nearly as we were having not a possibility to say what we want and not what we want. And they are just like telling us what we need to do in their point of view. And as my mom, she went for a vaccine 2 times, and now she's very sick. She's very sick with a second vaccine. And then she was really like, but I want to live my life. And actually, I felt like I have been forced to go and get vaccine. Otherwise, she felt like she can't move can go and move and be and travel and be in her daily life, not suppressed. So it's an interesting point of view, but we all created that with our distractions, energy, with our points of view, with also feeling helpless, hopeless, and ohnmächtig, and disempowered, and small. And I think we need to get out of all this, that people can tell us what we need to do and how we need to live our life.
Yes, that's our product.
Yeah.
Social system and all institutions, it's our product. So vaccination as experiment in vivo is our product.
Yes, and that we allowed that also. So for me, it's good, because it's also, as we say, with this destroying energy, that's also a kind of destroying human DNR and DNA and all that with a vaccination. But what is going to arise out of that? And what I see already, what's happening is people are getting more conscious what they are choosing also, and what we have been choosing until now. I mean, for me, the slavery and the generation of Hitler's mind is still on somehow for me when I look at it.
Authoritarian system, but it's I hope it's only a lesson for all us. I didn't tell you, but when we discussed the problem of somatization and body symptoms, there is very popular author in Serbia and Croatia, a German physicist and psychotherapist and so on, Rüdiger Dahlke. Yeah, with a similar attitude to problem and to our drive to rise our consciousness, and that's the way, the path, as he say, to good health. The only way, to good health, and of course, it's related with a holistic attitude.
Yeah, for me, good health is about taking care for yourself, mainly not just for the body, but also what you're thinking, what is your mindset, where are you not aligned. When, for me, somebody who is in good health is because he's aligned and he's living his truth, and not so much going aside and not so much listening to others, but more living his own reality, his out of his own universe, out of his own alignment. And because when you do that, then the whole body doesn't need to come up and show up any symptoms that there's something not aligned. And I think it, for me, everything which shows up in our world in symptoms, because everything, even anger is a symptom, a body issue is a symptom, I mean, all the emotional stuff is also just a symptom, or even a thinking, a thought is also for me a symptom that there is something not aligned.
Yes.
And it just wants to come back in the flow of the true.
Yeah, not only true, but harmony with your own being and without surrounding
yes,
community and universe in all. There is a misunderstanding with old Latin proverb, mens sana in corpore sano, have good health and mind in health body. There's misunderstanding because originally mens sana in corpore sano means to have both healthy man's spirit and healthy body.
Yeah. But for me, spirit is a bit different than our mind and our program mind.
Yeah.
Yes. So what does it take that we start more living our truth, being more connected, taking care more that we have are in our highest vibration frequency, living more happiness, even if that's not allowed on this planet Earth. But what does it take that we're all living more our capacities and looking at us less destroying and less judgmental, but more like empowered being who can change everything and create everything?
Yeah. And interesting from middle last century when arose humanistic psychology, and the ideal was to be self-realized.
Yeah.
But self-realizing doesn't mean some kind of egoism, being in center of your own world, but realize yourself as part of a community in relations with others also, and of course with the universe in whole. And today, this practice, this policy regarding COVID is doing to everything to destroy that ideal. On the contrary, to isolate us, each from other, because they're afraid when we are together and we are unite, and we have such goals as communication, intimacy, self-realization, freedom, and and having sky as a limit.
Yeah, but all this starts with us anyway. So even if at the moment it looks like the division, whatever, division, the separation, which is starting to become more conscious, which we already have. I mean, when I look into lots of human people, I'm just like wondering how they can live, because there is so much separation already in them. So, for me, it's like the outside is also the inside, and that now everything is showing up and going in a direction where more separation is starting to show up, and is also going in this energy. And this way is just to make it more conscious how much separated we are from ourselves.
Yes. There is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for me, it's again, when something really comes out and gets more and more conscious, and people are going to feel it and sense it and get it, then there is a possibility to, again, get more conscious. And if I'm more conscious about something, I can change and choose something different. And out of that, I'm going to create differently. So for me, the way of that this is showing up is something actually a good taste for more consciousness and the different possibilities for the humanity to live something totally different in relationships with yourself, but also in relationship with others.
Yes. we are also approaching subjects of freedom, free will, destiny, karma with this situation. Yeah. Do we really have to meet this situation just to make one more step to self realize ourselves?
Mhm. Well, I guess not everyone, but a lot of people, I would say. I mean, from the collective, when I look in the collective part, where there's still so much trauma, which is actually also creating all that, and also lots of karma from, also from the from our ancestors, what they have created, what we are still dealing with, all the other generation after all that. We are still dealing inside of us with all this trauma of wars and everything what happened here already on this earth. So for me, if I look it on a bigger scale, on a bigger plan, then all is fine, even if in the moment it looks maybe horrible or not fine at all. But for me, it's just like coming out of all this, as we said already, destroying and destroying ourselves, destroying our bodies, and staying in this energy from our ancestors. Because when you look back what they created, I mean, we already, for me, it's just like the collective consciousness changing and developing more conscious.
Yeah. There is Martin Heidegger's thought when he said that there where is danger, there is also that what saved us. We have to be in danger just that we could be saved later. Thanks to that danger and all this pressure and crisis and everything that that happens and what we experience as negative, just temporarily negative. Everything is just as it has to be.
Yes, and for me, it's not a danger. It's for me, it's more like what am I? How can I be with all that what is happening? Am I willing to receive everything from what is happening, and out of that creating something and choosing something for me, what works for me and what functions for me, not in going against how it shows up, but including that and creating something different.
Yeah, that's needed a lesson, and we have to be grateful for that lessons. But well, what about old people, ill people? How do they deal with this situation? You mentioned your mother.
Yeah, I mean, she got out. What she got out is that she got more conscious. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter what choice you were taking. It, if I don't have any point of view, it's just a choice, which I'm with this choice, I'm gonna get always more conscious and more awareness. But most of the people, they just go stuck with that. They don't create further after that. When I have a situation coming up in my life and I'm looking at that without points of view, it's just a fact. But then I'm asking myself, what do I want to create out of that? Mm-hmm. And this is where the most collectiveness is staying stuck. It's just like I have to deal with that in a way where I'm just like putting it aside, getting angry, and then don't want the anger and make myself unconscious with all that. But there is also a possibility to just, whatever shows up, you ask yourself, so what do I want to create out of that?
Tell me, how do you explain differences between people? One reacts on that way, but somebody is closed and blind and...
Yeah, for me, this has all to do with how we have been brought up, and also of what you come already on earth with all your other lives before, and what you experienced before, and how you lived your life before, and you bring a lot of stuff with you, and also that is already how shall I say it? That's already, out of that, you're already choosing your parents, your childhood. Your soul is already choosing the next experience for this life. And then you have these parents, and then you have all this experience. And out of that, you are more conscious, less conscious, more unconscious, and having your points of view, how you look at it. I call it trigger points. As you said, why is this one reacting like that, and the other one is making himself blind and not see and wanting to see it? So that's all fear-based.
But is freedom possible at all for unconscious people?
Yes, in their world, they feel. If you ask people, see, that's so funny, because of course, very often I'm the more conscious person when I'm around other people. So, but sometimes the more unconscious the people are, the more they need to think actually that their life is good to survive.
Yeah. And interesting, there are so-called charismatic persons. And somebody who is unconscious just can meet charismatic person and to help. Is it just accident or question of luck to meet charismatic person who can help you to open your mind?
I think when you meet already this person, then you have been somehow, even unconscious, asking for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that any unconscious person is just gonna meet a charismatic or more conscious or more aware person to be contributed to have a contribution from them. I think you need to, you are already somehow, there is already a drive in something else. There is already a question in this unconscious person that wants to meet. Otherwise, it would not be created.
So teacher appears when pupil is ready. Old proverb.
Not always, but because even with my I'm not seeing a difference. For me, it's like, so I have my topics where I'm good, or I'm very strong on. I mean, very powerful with my capacities, but someone else has other capacities. That's what I believe. So I have my capacities, and someone else has totally other capacities, which is great if we really would live that, because if we bring all the capacities together, then we would have a much richer and much more empowered collectiveness here. And why am I saying that? Because for me, there is not a pupil, it's always master.
Yes. Do you agree that absolute freedom is not possible? Absolute freedom.
No, I don't agree with that. No, I don't need to agree or disagree with that. But my point of view is that that's what we are all seeking. And of course, you can create that. Your infinitive being can create that if your person is willing to receive it.
Yeah.
And live.
There was French philosopher, existentialist, Jean-Paul Sartre,
Yes.
with his concept of freedom.
Yeah.
Well, he said that our existence is first, and then comes essence
Yes.
of our existence. And we are open projects, and we build step by step ourselves as project of our freedom, and we are absolutely responsible. There is no limit. But I think that it differs from you, from your point of view, his concept of freedom.
I mean, for me, there is nothing what you desire. I mean, there is nothing in the way what you desire to have or to live. It's all about you creating it.
Yes, but which part of us? There are unconscious layers, parts, and there are conscious parts, subliminal, liminal. There are some visions of our future existence. Which part of us decides?
Decide. Well, for me, everything what comes from my higher source, what will show up in my heart, even if I don't have it defined, even if I don't have it all conscious yet, I always will be aware of an energy. And this energy is going to show me what resonates with this energy. And if I'm willing to receive my guidance and go with the flow, then I will always meet this energy which was here.
Yeah.
But it's out of definition. And, I'm more and more living in a kind of my own universe and space where it's all not really real. There is, for me, reality is really shifting more and more. It's not whatever shows up. If it's a thought, if it's the outside world. I mean, even that there is no outside world, but if there is this world showing up and with a vaccination and this so-called COVID, whatever that is, for me, all this is not really real. No thoughts, feelings, emotions are real. The only thing what is real is the energy.
Yeah.
Energy.
I don't believe too much in a human reason possibility to decide and to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a proverb, old proverbs, some attributed to Marcus Aurelius, some attributed to St. Francis. That's Serenity Prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
But when something is not real, how can I not change it?
Well, nothing is real. Everything is just manifestation and Maya.
Yeah, and it's always my point of view on that.
Generally, there are things that we cannot change and things that we can change. Serenity prayer means that we have to accept the things we cannot change.
So
we have courage to change the things we can. Sorry, one moment. But we need wisdom to know the difference between them. It's a very important point. To know the difference between that what we can change and what we cannot change.
See, for me, there is no difference because whatever I created, I can already change it.
C'est Amazon.
So
Reci.
for me,
We didn't hear
it
you.
doesn't exist because what I have created, I can change it.
Yes, but is there something that I cannot change?
Well, in my world, no.
But did you ask yourself, why are you Katrina and not, let's say, Corina? Why are you born? Why were you born that and that year and not that? Why are you from Germany and not from Italy? Did you ever
Well, all
thought
that
about?
is, yeah, because my soul choose that.
Yeah, isn't it a mystery?
Yeah, there is a mystery, and there is also the mystics in that, and the wonder and the magic in that. But you know, for me, my universe is like before I come down to earth, I have already all the connections with the people, with other souls actually, who are gonna remind me to grow, you know, to go and grow and have certain experience. That's what I was saying. Before I come to earth, my soul is choosing which experience she wants to have. So why I'm coming here to France to start my life in Paris, where I was born, and then have a father who is Austrian, and then move out from France to Austria, which I didn't like at all as a person, and because but all that is a movement of energy into more consciousness.
So essence comes first and existence comes next.
Yeah, because existence is just happening in our mind. It's not real. It's a film. It's for me, it's like a cinema film.
Yeah. And future existence comes from our present mind.
Yes, but when you wake up in the morning, do you think about yesterday and tomorrow, or are you just here?
Yeah. We experience now.
Yes, I don't think so much that we're gonna have something in the future, or there is a past. It, for me, it shows up more like an energy which is now.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned energy.
Yeah.
Energy is the basis of alternative healing and practices and techniques. Well, but it's not so popular in traditional, institutional medicine system of health.
Well, for
There
me,
is body, there is physics, there chemistry, but not energy. They are not talking about energy.
I mean, they are talking more and more, and also more, some are more and more inclusive now.
Yes.
And yes, and it depends also where you look, because the Russians are very strong on, and also in Asians, there are lots of changes happening also, and consciousness doesn't stop. So it's always, bringing some new possibilities in. And like the Russians they don't think anymore that once you have lost your second teeth, that there could not be a third coming out. The Russians are now already in growing a second liver and growing a second organ if one was not good anymore, and so they are working with numbers and all that. So there's so much to healing, and healing doesn't not always show up as you are not sick anymore. Healing can be in such different ways showing up. That's what I learned and got more conscious in this lifetime. It can be also healing to just someone who wants to die and can't die, bring some more peace and freedom into the system so he can go. So that also is a healing, can also be a healing process. It depends what the person is allowing and what not. Wonders and magic is happening always and everywhere. And for me, it doesn't matter how. For me, it doesn't matter how, but for me matters which magic and wonders can I create for myself, but also for the world with whatever shows up.
Yeah, life is full of mysteries and it's wonderful. Yeah. Amazing.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes. Even if you know, we're so programmed to always know everything and understand everything and have already everything clear and thinking in linearity, but there is no space for wonders and magic in our programmed mindset.
Yeah.
There is no. We always want, out of fear, to have everything, tuck, 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 like aligned, but with that. And there is no magic and wonders and healing also not happening. Healing is not coming from your mindset because it's more against, but from your heart and your wholeness, yes. And that's what I'm in my classes and my courses and working with my clients. That's always something which is the biggest approach to what possibilities are laying in you that can show up as magic and wonders.
Yeah. To feel and to be and not to think. I agree with you.
Yes, we need to change this place to that place.
As the center of our existence.
Yes, it's the heart, it's the kindness, it's the natural caringness, it's the natural wisdom. I mean, if I just look at what people are buying here with all this COVID and all that what is brainwashed.
Yeah.
If I look at that, for me, it's like if I just ask my body and my natural wisdom and go like, I hear that and I hear that, and all those two goes not together for me, then why should I choose to believe in that?
Yeah.
I believe, for me, what for me is the strongest is believing in this.
There is logic, also logical heart.
There's a logical heart. Okay, tell me more about that. What is that?
Everybody thinks that logic is related to analytical reason in dividing things in analytics, but logic is also in our heart and is following instructions or laws or impulses, drives from our heart. It's also a kind of logic, isn't it? When you are talking about intuition, inner feeling. Isn't it a kind of logic? Not
Well,
this institutional, rational, but it's also logic. And superior, even superior to logic of our mind, logic of our body.
I mean, you can look at that. I would not really take the term of logical in that, because, you know, I have been in situation, Maxime, where I would go in a bakery and my mind would go like, hey, we have everything at home, we don't need anything, so why are we now in the bakery? So for my mind, it doesn't seem really logical. And then I hear myself saying, I want that and that and that and that. My mind gets crazy because we have all at home.
Yeah.
And I buy all that, and my mind gets even more crazy because it's not logical at all. And then so I take that home, and then at home I'm like, for what did I buy so much at the bakery? So, and then a couple minutes or hours, I don't remember really, I get a phone call, and there are friends coming over and asking me if I have everything at home so we can have a brunch. And then I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that, you see, for me, there was in my impulses and acting on something what knows already something in me was not really logical for my mind at all. And when I look afterwards, it was really logical.
Yeah, it's a manifestation of synchronicity.
Yes.
Yeah, very important. Low.
Yes.
Universe.
And this is something what we really don't allow ourselves, because the strong mind, because the mind is always in the way, coming into the way and saying, hey, that's not logical, we have everything. But you need to be stronger than your mind.
Of course.
And the most people have the more importance and the more importance on their mind. So he is always right, than rather your heart and your acting and your knowing, your inner wisdom.
Well, I think that mind is just tool.
Yeah, totally.
That's it.
Yeah. There is a big misunderstanding and a big program which is not allowed to have that. When it starts already with parents, which very often are not living out of that alignment. And then it goes on in the school. Where are the kids allowed to really have their inner wisdom, go with their inner wisdom, act on that, believe on it? I mean, the school, for me, the most what is happening in schools at the moment is really to destroy actually all that.
Yeah, programming.
Yeah.
Well, we started from anger and fear and aggression, and finally came to heart and logical heart and intuition and synchronicity. I think it's a good development.
Yes, it's super conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for all your perspective also, Maxime. Thank you very much.
You, it was a pleasure.
And it's great to have always a bit more different perspective also, but actually, even if you have different words, the inner is the same.
Well, yes. And I told Sarah that you can visit Split when the situation calms down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I see it as a very interesting experience for you and your associates. So, well, you're invited.
Thank you very much, Maxime.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Great.
Okay.
So thank you very much
No.
for this lovely, kind meeting here and this lovely, beautiful conversation here. And I hope to see you in person one day.
Yes, of course.
Right. And of course, you can come here to Austria too. We have a really lovely house here with the woods and the water not far away. We can just go out of the house and be in the woods. It's really nice here.
Yeah, Sarah showed me pictures.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. And
Bye.
bye.
Namaste.
Ciao.